There's nothing better than a cup of tea without sugar in it when you've had like some advent calendar chocolate or something. Very nice. Evening, folks. How you doing? How's everybody doing? These custodians aren't going to pick themselves. Good for you. Good for you. Well, custodians pretty much do paint themselves. I don't know what you're talking about. Spray them gold. Right? Seraphim sepia. A bit of Seraphim sepia mixed with Nuln Oil. Dry brush silver. Done. Lucky, lucky people that collect their custodians. Unless you're doing them in another colour, which I respect you if you do. Blood Angels, best chapter hands down. Okay. Alright, well, we'll see, won't we? Hello from across the pond in the crazy states. Hello, Jay. You did, Tarika. You caught it on time, my friend. You caught it on time. You did indeed. Controversial one coming up on Tuesday. Oh ho 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 ho. Trench Crusade ain't my thing. And I'm going to talk about it on Tuesday. Bit of a preview we'll do later. I am wearing red today in honor of the Legion we are rebuilding, the chapter we are rebuilding. That is the Dark Angels, the Blood Angels. The Blood Angels. So I'm going to be looking into those a little bit later on. Hello from Canada. Hello, Ian. Thanks, mate. Troublemaker says, rebuild the Blood Angels. I never thought they had much wrong with their lore. They don't. But that's the challenge. That's the entire challenge and point of the series. Is rebuilding things, even if they maybe don't need rebuilding. Finding ways to make them better. Finding ways to make them stand out and really sing. I think the Night Lords, low-key, the Night Lords is the best one we've ever done. And we hardly changed them. Right? That's... I was really proud of that one. That's the only one I've watched back out of sheer interest in how we got to where we got to, you know. But rewriting the Night Lords how we did, we hardly changed them and made them 10 times better. 10 times better. It's just an amazing... I would collect the shit out of that army. Brilliant army. So we'll see what we do today. I have a few wide-ranging things that I'd like to hit on in terms of Blood Angels and what I do and don't like. One of which is the whole vampire shtick, but we'll get into that a little bit later on. You know. I see Troublemaker. I think you're in the minority there. I'm not sure a lot of people want Sanguinius to come back. Mainly because it kind of invalidates everything that he's done. If he just comes back in spirit form. But we'll get into that in a bit. Cheers, Tonga, or Togna. Togna Ferguson. Thank you very much. Good luck with your English test, Michigan Yankee. Good luck, man. I know you've been studying for a while. Tariki says, I just don't want him to die in this universe. Well, this is going to be one of the biggest controversies in our entire series, right? This is one of those big boilerplate decisions that I was kind of dreading covering. And that was literally, what do we do with Sanguinius? Does he die or does he live, right? Because I can see, in all honesty, I can see the argument on both sides. I am more coming down along the lines of having him die. And that's mainly because, as far as I know, his entire character is built up around knowing he's going to die. And that's the whole character, right? He knows he knows he's not long for this world. In my opinion. You know? Dakota says, "Hey North, first time in the live stream. You're quickly becoming my favourite YouTuber in the hobby. Blood Angels are my boys." Well, hopefully I'm not going to lose you with this one. Hopefully I'm not going to lose you. Salty says, "In the universe, the Sanguinor and Mephiston should go do the Dragon Ball Z fusion dance to bring back Sanguinius." Again, bringing back Sanguinius is not really... If we have Sanguinius die, I'm not sure you can bring him back. It sort of invalidates what he does. You know? Troublemaker says, "Yes and no. There is a long conversation he has with Dawn and the Emperor about the fact that he is going to face Horus in order to deny the fate he keeps seeing visions of." Yeah, but the whole tragedy of him is that he doesn't realise that, he's fated to die. Right? He's going to die. That's the whole point. Hey, Flaming Nico, how's it going, man? So we'll see. We will see how things go. I'm kind of thinking that this is going to go one of two ways. We're either going to have Sanguinius go all the way and still be in 40k, or he's going to die even earlier. We'll see. We'll see. Hey, it's just Gamble. How's it going, man? How's it going? So I have had a cold the past couple of weeks, and I was getting cocky, right? Because my body, since I've lost a lot of weight, my immune system has been really good. Because usually I'm ill nearly all winter, do you know what I mean? But my immune system's been really good. I've been doing very, very, very well on that front. And for a while, I'd been getting a little bit of a cough here and there, but then fighting it off. Because it was always threatening to be something worse, where then my body would just fight it off. So I'd be really, really, really happy with that. And then my daughter actually got ill. A lot of coughing, a lot of spluttering, and then I got it, right? So I'm thinking, hey, it's just Gamble, thank you very much for being becoming a member, dude. Thank you very much. I started coughing and spluttering, and it didn't really get worse. And I think that's my immune system fighting it off again. But it was such a heavy dose of whatever it was. It might have been COVID, that I was coughing and spluttering and sneezing for days, and really sleeping in for days. And it didn't stop me working, didn't stop me, being productive. It did stop me going to the gym, because obviously I'm not going to give it to anybody else, and I'm not that much of a dick, right? And me and the missus went to York on Wednesday, just for a little getaway for a couple of days. And York's really good, by the way, really fun. I really enjoyed York, especially over Christmas. It was really nice. And whilst there, I had I couldn't really taste very much, and I was still coughing and spluttering. And I've been coughing and spluttering for a week now, but I don't feel bad. I'm not ill, right? But my body's still reacting as if I am. Which makes me think it's COVID, Because the last time I had COVID, this is exactly what happened, right? I got, even when I was fine, I was still coughing, spluttering, my body still producing stuff in my chest and in my nose, and, you know, and it's all clear, like I'm fine, and I feel fine in myself. I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow, because I'm fine. But it's just really annoying that it hangs around, do you know what I mean? You probably can still hear it in my voice, actually. Ferris should come back into my 9-hand simp. He might do. I think he's next, right? After this, I think the last one before Christmas, next week, is Iron Hands, right? And then we have our midway break, where we do the 11th Legion. And that's your project, not mine. So I don't get to write anything. I'm going to read that out. So, yeah. This week, Blood Angels. Next week, Iron Hands. And then the week after that, the 22nd, will be your project. So we'll be reading out your project for the 11th Legion. You guys are going to write the 11th Legion and then send it in. And then we're either going to take one person's entire project and use that in the Exalverse, or we're going to combine a few into being the Exalverse version of the 11th Legion. Because in our Exalverse, we do explain the 2 missing legions. Because I think it's important that we do. Yeah, although, yeah, man, it's not good. Or I'll do. It's not good, mate. Not good. Good for you, David. Painting Blood Angels right now. Good for you. Alright, shall we get into this? Let's get into this. Let's start doing our Blood Angels thing. Alright. Here we go. So, Blood Angels. One thing I really want to change about Blood Angels, and this is just a wide thing I want to talk about, is the vampirism. I really liked that the Blood Angels in the early Great Crusade were called the Revenant Legion, simply because they just kept coming, right? They just kept coming at the enemy, and they would also eat the flesh of the slain. Now, they wouldn't just do this because, you know, they're edgy. Some of their implants were malfunctioning that allowed them to not just eat the flesh of the deceased, but to learn from eating the flesh of the deceased. They could learn their tactics, their needs, their wants and their desires just simply by consuming the flesh of the dead, right? I really want to keep that. I really want to keep the Blood Angels cannibalistic, but the blood drinking and the constant vampirism stuff, the fangs and all that shit, I think that can go. I think that can go. I'm not saying we're going to sanitize the Blood Angels. If anything, they're going to get worse, right? I think the Blood Angels should be cannibals and slightly addicted to it as well, right? They're slightly addicted to it. But they're not vampires. They're not space vampires. Yeah? I don't know. That's what I think. So our first vote of the day was going to cover just that. And it might be a long one, this one. That's what she said. Blood Angels are grim cannibals, not space vampires. So, have a little vote. What I want to do is expand the Revenant Legion, right, and what they were, and I want to take away the 40k-ness. I don't like Blood Angels and 40k. I think they're silly. Same as Space Wolves. I don't like them. I think they're silly. They are space vampires from Italy, and it just rubs me the wrong way. I don't want 40k to lean into memes and to be lazy. We want our version of 40k to be something that it's tangible, you can see it, you can touch it, right? A Revenant Legion that eats the slain simply because they're malfunctioning, because they're mass-produced, is horrific and grim and dark, and still hits on the Blood Angels themes that we want to hit on, without making them one-note and silly and Dracula in space, right? That's the overall plan, anyway, right? Again, this is the first thing we're deciding, so we don't need to be too in-depth on it. But I still would like to put it out there, you know, we're stripping back the vampirism, we're stripping back the ridiculousness of it, and we're injecting grim, dark tragedy. We're injecting that these guys are overcoming their base nature. The one thing I love about the Blood Angels and what they are is that they are overcoming that, right? It's the reason why the Emperor's Wolves are Blood Angels, technically. You know what I mean? They're not from the bloodline of Sanguinius, but I love the theme of a Space Marine chapter being incredibly savage and brutal, but they're overcoming that savage brutality through discipline and honor. Right? Through discipline and being disciplined and making sure that they're honing their skills. It's kind of like the same energy as, you know, when people say, you know, stop having sex and stop jerking off, and then put the energy that you have there into other things. Well, the Blood Angels should be doing the same thing, or needing to do the same thing with eating flesh. You're right? They should be doing the same thing. They do it through discipline. They only partake slightly, you know what I mean? Or they're lost forever, sort of thing. It also links very nicely into the Black Rage. Because if we have the Black Rage being literally another deformation of their gene seed, right? The other side of the Red Thirst, the Black Rage. And we can definitely do that. So we're not losing the Red Thirst, and we're not losing the Black Rage. We're just taking away the fangs. We're taking away the space vampire. How would you become a Blood Angel? You go into a sarcophagus. Like a coffin. Right? We're taking away all that shit. We don't want that. We don't want that. This should be like World Eaters post Butcher's Nails with slightly more control. Maybe. Maybe. I want to keep that on until we get nearer to 20 votes, and then I will move on. I'll move on. Or next 5 minutes, we'll see. But yeah, Blood Angels are grim cannibals and not space vampires. That is what I put before you. For your consideration. Minding Bat says, think that they should go into the Black Rage if they don't give in to their curse every so often. Yes. And do you know how that works, Minding Bat? It's still vampirism, right? But we're not knocking people over their head with it. We're not going, ha, we're vampires, You know, no. Listen, there are vampiric things about the Blood Angels. They're just not Dracula in space. Right? They're not literally vampires in space. This is the main failing of Games Workshop writing, in my opinion. The main failing is that they just can't stop themselves from giving into meme culture. They just can't stop themselves. Instead of having an interesting legion in the Blood Angels, they just create space vampires and call it done. And that's shitty, in my opinion. Alright. Ending the poll there. Hopefully we haven't lost everybody, but the Blood Angels are grim cannibals. They are the Revenant Legion, and not space vampires in the Exileverse. So that is the flavour we're going towards. I think Minding Bats had a really good inspiration there in what he said. They should go into the Black Rage if they haven't given into their curse every so often. I think we run with that. We link the Black Rage and the Red Thirst, right? The Red Thirst being not drinking blood, but the eating of flesh. Right? The implant that allows a Space Marine to learn through eating is malfunctioning and really hyperactive within the Blood Angels. Yeah? Really, really, really hyperactive. Which means they're really good at prophecy. Really good at like learning and seeing where things are going to go, right, through eating flesh and things like that. And learning about the enemy through their memories and things. But if they don't ritually partake in the eating of flesh, they eventually give in to the Black Rage and go mental and eat everybody around them, or try to, right? That's cool. And it's still vampiric. It's a very vampiric thing to do. Anybody who's played Vampire the Masquerade will tell you, right? Not drinking blood for a while or eating flesh for a while will turn you into a raging lunatic who just wants to go out there and sate your bloodlust by any means necessary. And I think this is a very good thing to do, right? We link the two. There is now a reason for the Black Rage to be in the Blood Angels gene seed. There is a reason. It is a fail-safe put into the gene seed by the gene seed itself. It says, if you don't consume the flesh of people around you, eventually I'm going to drive you insane and make you eat the people around you, whether they be friends or foe, right? That is a very, very cool way to get the Blood Angels to have their darker side, and I like it. I like it. J-Day says they should get a huge power boost from drinking blood, but they lose a bit of themselves every time they indulge. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. That's cool. I like that. It could also, do you know when they say at the end of the Horus Heresy that when Sanguinius dies, the Blood Angels go mental and just start like winning the siege on their own by just ripping everybody apart? That never really made much sense to me. Like, why? Like, why are they all of a sudden so powerful? Well, wouldn't it be really cool if they just gave in to their cannibalistic urges and started eating the traitor Marines? You know? And then getting really powered up from that. That would make so much more sense. But they lose a bit of themselves every time they indulge in their flaw, and that is true, right? So the Black Rage will get you eventually. You just gotta. It's like an addiction you've got to manage. It's gonna get you. Eventually, it's going to get you as a Blood Angel. You will go insane eventually, either because you've indulged in your practice of consuming the flesh of others one too many times, and it's turned you into a bit of a lunatic, an addict, or you're not doing it at all. You're abstaining completely, and in doing that, the Black Rage has come for you, and now you are literally lost to the Black Rage, right? Yeah. So, next thing. Are we making... So, Red Thirst and Black Rage linked. Are they degenerative? For those of you who don't know, obviously, most of you will know what this is. Degenerative means it's going to get worse. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. It's going to get worse. You can't be cured. You can hold it off. You can hold it off, but you can't be cured. Alright? Eventually, every Blood Angel gives in. Every one of them gives in. And becomes either a blood-addled lunatic, a flesh-addled lunatic, or they give into the Black Rage and become the same thing. No, I don't like the word overcome, Minding Bat. Let's read what Minding Bat said there. He said, maybe there are examples in their history that have managed to overcome the Red Thirst through meditation. And so the Legion practices meditation, making them cannibals, super soldier monks. No, I don't agree. Overcoming is not the right word. The rest of that is great. No. But I would have the longest living Blood Angels be the ones who can do exactly what you just said. They can meditate. They can turn their needs into a razor's edge on the battlefield, right? They turn those energies into a positive. So holding off the Red Thirst and the Black Rage, yes. Right? Definitely. They can manage it, yes. But eventually, it will get them. I don't think in a Grimdark setting, any of these legions or armies should be overcoming their long-held, terrible things. Ed, thank you very much, mate. Thank you for the $5. He says, "Ant it just swapping blood for flesh? How Mordian find their OPR game? Sadly, no one I know or play it have little interest." Ant it just swapping blood for flesh? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But the thing is, though, I know you came a bit later on, Ed. But if you rewind it to the start, you'll be able to see that we already covered how vampirism isn't a thing. It's more they're more cannibals now. We returned the Blood Angels into being more cannibals than space vampires, and how to find that an OPR game, sadly, no one. Okay. I also really struggle to find games, dude. I have a friend who is a couple of hours away. He's going to come down soon and play some OPR with me. And that's what I've had to do. It just really... One good thing OPR has over 40k is it doesn't take up your whole day. Or one game doesn't take up your whole day. So if you play OPR for one day with your friends, you'll get 4 or 5 games in. And that's more than most 40k players get in a single month. So you only need a day. And you'll be alright. So, focus on that. Minding Bat says, well, maybe they believe they had brothers who overcame it. It's just a lie to give them hope. Maybe, but like 40k fans. Okay, this is going to sound really bad, but 40k fans aren't really intelligent enough to get that nuance. Sorry, and I include myself in that too. Right? We're not really smart enough to get that nuance. I would say it's got to be one thing or the other. Blood Angels and crew can have an eat flesh off. Yeah, why not? Black Rage should still only come after Sanguinius dies. Dakota, I agree, but I think... Okay, we'll call this one here, because I think you guys like that idea, so we'll go with that. But I think Black Rage gets worse after death of Sanguinius. There we go. What do you guys think? I disagree with Dakota there. I don't think the Black Rage should appear after Sanguinius dies. I think it should get worse after he dies, right? So they should be holding it off. Maybe they're holding it off by drinking Sanguinius's blood, right? Like a one drop of it or something. Do you know what I mean? That stops them from going all the way. And then as soon as he dies, the psychic backlash just ruins the whole thing. I don't know. But I think it should get worse after he dies. It shouldn't just appear. No hope in 40k, only despair, please, says Gamble. No, again, that's something I kind of also disagree with. I think there should be hope in Grimdark. Grimdark doesn't mean hopeless. Grimdark means struggling against hopelessness anyway, right? And to do that, you need something to believe in, you need something to fight for. It's one of the main things, one of the main reasons why, and you've hit on it there, just Gamble, it's one of the main reasons why I don't really like Trench Crusade. There's nothing to fight for. Everything's shit all the time, then why am I bothering? If everything is shit all the time, why bother? Right? Grimdark isn't that. So be very careful about associating Grimdark with, constant hopelessness, constant losing, constant what's the point, because you lose readers and you lose the passion of the people who want to be in the hobby. Because why should they bother if everything's shit all of the time? That's why the Eisenhorn books are so beloved. It's because they open that up to people. They say, look, this is what you're fighting for. Look at all these really nice worlds that you can go to. Like, Eisenhorn has some swanky apartments, dude. Swanky. And he's not that... He's an Inquisitor, but he's not, like, ridiculously rich, right? And he has some swanky-ass apartments. You know? Mining Bat says, God as a faction literally... I think that means... on has hope? Or no hope? I don't know. God do have hope, dude. They have wives and families and worlds that they love being from and fighting for, right? I use it as an example in my video for Trench Crusade next week, when I say, look, you know, Trench Crusade is Marcus Aurelius talking to Maximus Decimus Meridius, where he says, I envy you, Maximus, that's a good home. It's worth fighting for, right? 40k has homes worth fighting for. That's why we're fighting. We're fighting to protect the Imperium because it's worth protecting. Yeah? It's worth protecting. Only just, but it's still worth protecting. If your setting isn't worth protecting or fighting for, then why are we here? That's where Grimdark falls down for me, and that's when we need to be very careful about how we manage hope in 40k. There should be hope that one day things are going to get better, and by God, if we just hold the line here, we're going to get there, right? That's 40k. That's Grimdark. Grimdark isn't just, you know, everything's terrible all the time, why bother? No, right? Anyway, moving on. You guys really like the Death of Sanguinius idea, so that's what we're going to do. Alright, so the Black Rage only gets worse after the Death of Sanguinius. Okay. So now we need to decide, why is Sanguinius on Baal? Remember how we do this. We frame every Primarch through the central question, why did the Emperor send Sanguinius his capsule to Baal? And remember, in the Exile verse, the Chaos Gods didn't somehow by magic wisp away all of the Primarchs to send them across the galaxy, right? And they happened to end up on nice worlds that needed to be tamed. No. Every Primarch in this setting was sent away by the Emperor on purpose. Why? The Emperor knows chaos is out there, and he needs to do the Great Crusade as quickly as possible. And there are certain worlds out there that he needs nailed down to his cause very early on. So he sends the Primarchs out there to unite the world under his name, even though the Primarchs don't even know who he is. They're genetically primed to make sure that, you know, to make these places fall to the Imperium. So, why is Sanguinius on Baal? Baal Secundus as the main thing, right? Why is he there? Conrad Kurz, for instance, was on Nostrama because it had a vast store of adamantium on it. Perturaba was on Olympia because it had the Men of Iron on it. So why is Sanguinius on Baal Secundus? I'll give you a few seconds to think that over and have a sip of tea. So why is Sanguinius sent to Baal Secundus? This is a difficult one because Baal Secundus is basically useless. It's worthless. It doesn't actually have anything on it, right? In 40k. But what that does is it gives us a very strange clean slate. We now have a clean slate to make whatever we want of Baal Secundus. It has a cool name, says David. Durdu says, for the people. He was supposed to be an inspirational figure. Yeah, but why do we need the people? Why do we need these? Because the people on Baal Secundus are all irradiated fuckheads, right? So why do we even need them? Why do you send the angel of all people to Baal Secundus? Hardy people? Yeah, but there's hardy people everywhere. Remember, this is a galaxy, Dave. This is a galaxy, my friend. What's so special about the people of Baal Secundus? Okay, Garth Tenzing says the same thing. Hardy population. That's true, but Like, there are other worlds out there with hardy people on them. What's so special about Baal Secundus? There's nothing special about it right now. Yeah? They are hopeless. If he can inspire them, he can inspire anyone. Yes, but now we're talking about Sanguinius again. We want to talk about Baal Secundus. Michigan Yankee Michigan Yankee got the assignment, folks. All right, this is what I was looking for. It is the largest nuclear mining world in the galaxy. So fissile material is what he's going with. It has a load of fissile material beneath the surface. Okay, cool. Maybe Baal, Minding Bat says, maybe Baal is actually like a luxury planet. He is sent there as a test to see if he has the strength of character to resist it, but he changes into a hard-working machine with little luxury. A strategic galactic choke point. I like the idea of that too. Yeah. You're going to need 3 to 4 bases of operations, says Tenzing. Baal, Northern, Ultramar, Eastern, and so on. Maybe. Minding Bat says, I like the idea that everybody thinks Sanguinius is this amazing angel, but he's actually a really bad guy. Okay. Alright. Okay. Matai says, what if there's a solution to the Black Rage? They are not immune, but more resistant to the curse. Well, we're going backwards. I don't know so much. I like the fissile material, right? I like Michigan Yankee's thoughts here, that Baal Secundus should have a vast amount of nuclear material on it that can be used in nuclear weapons, right? And other weapons that the Imperium needs. I like that. That's a pretty cool thing. So how about we go with that? Right? Nuclear material. So Baal has vast nuclear material and is an important choke point with hardy people on it. How's that? We've combined everybody's ideas. So, how about Baal Secundus has vast nuclear material and is an important choke point with a hardy populace. So it's a natural place for a northern capital of the Imperium. It's like a keystone to the whole northern sector of the galaxy there. How was that? Gar Tenzing, that's an amazing idea. He says, what if he was meant to land in the Baal planet, but ended up on the wrong planet? Yeah, because Baal Secundus is the moon. Baal Secundus is not the main planet. I've had a really good idea. How about, once we finish this vote, how about we have Baal Secundus, right, is full of nuclear material, but he was actually meant to land on Baal itself. He was meant to land there, right? And that is a place that it is basically heaven, like absolutely amazing, population, really gorgeous world. But it's annihilated by nuclear fire when the countries on that world turn against each other. And Sanguinius is actually racked by guilt, that he didn't manage to get down there to stop it from happening, right? And maybe he sees the wings that he's got, that he was given, as penance for that. Maybe. We don't want to go too far, Dakota, into having the Emperor see so many things ahead of schedule, you know? So let's examine that, right? So what you've said is, maybe for positional reasons, he foresaw both the opening of the Great Rift and the Nid invasion, the Tyranid invasion, and needed the Blood Angels base where to hold off the fall of that side of the Imperium. That's giving the Emperor way too much credit. So he foresees the Great Rift and the Tyranids. I mean, come on. I don't know, man. I think we're going a bit too far in. You know, we need to make the Emperor fallible in some way. Tareka says, what about a vote of Ancient Earth Tech? We've done Ancient Earth Tech twice already, so I would say keep this to a minimum from now on. Alright. Excellent. So, Sanguinius was meant to land on Baal, but ended up on Secundus. Baal falls to nuclear war. There we go. So Sanguinius was meant to land on Baal, but ended up on Baal Secundus. Baal falls to nuclear war in his absence. So he's absent, and Baal falls to nuclear war instead. And it kind of racks Sanguinius, right? He's racked with guilt. So he's always wanting to be the best. From that moment on, he's like, no, I'm not failing like that again, you know? Even though it's not really his fault, he feels like it is. We have one last thing to cover in a moment. About Sanguinius. And just what's going to go on with him. That's interesting, Scum Goblin. He says, if you look at the 40k galaxy map, Baal and Sable stand as the last planets before you pass through a vast emptiness before you reach the Ghoul stars. That's cool. Durdu says the Survivors Guild could drive him into the point of martial mastery. That's why Khorne has his eyes on him. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. End that one there. Okay, so our next prompt, and I need you guys to go with me on this one, right? I need you guys to think, put your thinking caps on. It's a big one, that's what she said. Where does Sanguinius get his wings from? Where does Sanguinius get his wings from? Yeah? Where does Sanguinius get his wings from? Warp exposure, says Scum Goblin. Okay. When you think about it, it's weird for me to just pull that out of nowhere, right? But it is a very important aspect of Sanguinius, because Sanguinius doesn't like his wings. We're told that, right? We're told that. He doesn't like his wings. He wishes they weren't there. He's frightened of them. He doesn't know why they're there. He doesn't know where they come from. Like, he's frightened of what they might mean. Yeah? We're told that in the end and the death. He's frightened of what his wings mean. Especially when he looks at Horus and what he's become. Lord Wright says it's a manifestation of his psychic guilt. That's awesome. Yeah, I like that. Speaking of awesome, Mr. Awesome React says he would get his wings from a ceremony on the planet after saving them, like a surgical implant. Okay, alright. Troublemaker says they erupt as a mutation the first time he falls to his own black rage. Genetic mutation, okay, from Khorne during a great battle. The Chaos Gods aren't pure evil. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Dakota says Khorne influence part of by the Black Rage is the gene flaw. Again, really good idea. Really good idea. I think we combine those, right? I think they should be a manifestation of a psychic guilt, right? Yeah. They should erupt as a mutation the first time he succumbs to his own Black Rage, right? Exactly. And they should secretly be a gift from Khorne. Because Khorne, as in most Chaos Gods, isn't wholly evil. He sees Sanguinius as this proud warrior fighting on his own, right? And he hears the call of Sanguinius saying, well, why couldn't I save these people from themselves? And he says, well, next time there's a planet you need to save, you'll be able to fly there, mate. You'll be able to fly. How's that? I like the idea, Mission Yankee, of them being a gift from Big E, but at the same time, I just think him being tainted by Khorne and resisting it all the time is a much better story. You know? Could the two angels of Baal be shards of Khorne? Why not, Lordorite? Why not? Why not? Sia says, should they still be angelic wings? They should come from Khorne after slaughtering thousands after falling to rage. Here's the thing. One, Khorne isn't wholly evil, right? And number two, Khorne does whatever Khorne wants. And if Khorne, like, again, Chaos is insidious. If he knows that giving Sanguinius, who is a very good tool, wings that will drive him mad out of shame, he won't give them to him. Instead, he gives him angels' wings. He could give him Skarbrand-like wings, but he doesn't. He could give him Angron like wings, but he doesn't. Because he gives Sanguinius what Sanguinius would want. And that is angelic wings. And he says to him, and Sanguinius thinks, right, that this is some father figure talking to him. Because Khorne says, I can take away your guilt and your anger by killing you and absorbing your soul, no problem. When he succumbs to the Black Rage for the first time, or the next time a world is in trouble, you'll be able to fly there on your own wings. Now that's not literal, of course, you know what I mean? That's cool, Mr. Awesome. Yeah, the most evil Chaos God should attempt to corrupt him. I get that too. Matthias says, what if they are bat wings, but they psychically project as angelic wings? Yeah, that's fine. I wouldn't mind going with that. Wouldn't mind that. Only somebody with true sight can see them from what they are. Right, yeah, no, I like that. I like that. Alright. Wings are from Black Rage. And a gift from Khorne, who attempts to sway Sanguinius with them. And of course, yeah, I think that's a really good idea. A really good idea is that they are bat wings, right? But they manifest psychically as angelic wings. Yeah, that's really cool. So really, they're like Angron wings, but they manifest as angelic wings. And when the Emperor finally finds Sanguinius, Sanguinius is haunted by the horrific look the Emperor gives him, because the Emperor, of course, sees Angron bat wings, not angelic wings. Right? And that haunts Sanguinius. That haunts him completely. Like the look the Emperor gives him, like, what the fuck have you become? Right? But Sanguinius has united his world, and the Emperor needs to move on, and he needs the Angel with him. He needs Sanguinius with him. Because at this stage, the Blood Angels are falling apart, and they need a guy like this to unite them. He also sees into Sanguinius' heart. He knows who Sanguinius is from the baseline, and knows that this is likely a guy I can trust. So he lets him take over his legion. But the Emperor is one of the only people, apart from Sanguinius himself, who sees his wings for what they truly are. So even when Horus is like, dude, why are you so ashamed of your wings? Sanguinius just says, well, they're a mutation of the warp, and I don't like them. Right? I don't like them. Or he doesn't even say that. He says, you know, they make me stand up for my brothers and my peers, and I don't like them. But in reality, Sanguinius sees them for what they are. He's one of only 2 or 3 people in the whole galaxy who can. Alright. Alright, so. We'll end that poll. Here we go. Horus and Sanguinius. Are Horus and Sanguinius best friends? Yes, no, I like that. Minding Bat, yeah, says if Lorgar should be able to see them too. Yeah, he does. He does. Oh, I like this. So you guys are all on the Horus Sanguinius love train. Alright, cool, cool. Mr. Awesome, that is a thing I've thought about a few times. Corax and Sanguinius should be friends, right? Because Corax can see the true nature of the wings. Because Corax can do that. He can sense people's true, you know, being and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. He can see through psychic illusions, yes. Yes, I think Corax and Sanguinius will be friends. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think Sanguinius' main friendship should be Horus, right? Should be Horus and Corax. Those should be his friends, his true friends. I think we're going a bit too far by saying that Lorgar makes Sanguinius do things, Manning Bat. I think Sanguinius would just kill Lorgar at that stage, and he could. So, no, I don't think we should go with that. I think that's a bit too far. And Sanguinius is not a beneficiary of Khorne, right? The Emperor knows he isn't. So it wouldn't actually make any sense. And nobody knows who Khorne is. Right? And anyway, Sanguinius would just literally clap the cheeks of Lorgar for even mentioning that in the same breath, in the same room as him. So, I don't know, man. I don't think that quite works. Lord Wright says, on the topic of Lorgar, I think he should be loyal, but his legion is traitor, which would eventually lead him to a Magnus situation in canon, where he leads the Grey Knights on Terra. We've already done Lorgar. We haven't done his legion and him yet, but he does appear in the wider Horus Heresy. He is not a good guy in the Exileverse, and that's already pretty much set in stone, unfortunately. But it's a good idea, though. I would also have Lorgar look up to him, seeing him as the closest to what he imagined the Emperor to be. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. I like that. I think his main friendship should be with Lorgar, because Beauregard will spend most of the Great Crusade attempting to help Sanguinius come to terms with the fact that the wings are a gift. That'd be cool. I like that. Yeah, why not? Why not? Why not have Lorgar be an insidious friend, right? Who doesn't have his best interest at heart. Horus is his tragic friend, because they're true friends, but Horus is going to go down some dark paths. And Corax is his true friend, right? Corvus Corax is his actual true friend. I really want that scene where Corvus Corax and Sanguinius go flying together. It sounds gay as all hell, I know, right? But like, that's really cool, right? That they go flying together. It's kind of like the, like a really fucked up 40k version of the Snowman, right? I want that so much, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. Alright. Alright. How does he feel about G-Man and the Lion? Because do we still have the Imperium Secundus? Right. Right. Okay. Well, first of all, we need to decide one thing. Because we've set things up where they can go one of two ways. He could legitimately be a traitor at this point. We've set up Sanguinius to be tempted a whole hell of a lot, right? Or we've set him up to be a tragic hero where he remains loyal to the Imperium, right? Has anyone else switched sides? Yes. Conrad Kurz. He didn't live for very long. But yeah, Conrad Kurz switched sides. I can't imagine Sanguinius and Corax like a Batman and Superman friendship. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. We did that last week, Durdu. Let the Primarch fall, but the Legion stays loyal. We did that last week. Luther too. Yeah, Luther. Yeah, Luther too. But yes, we did that last week. I don't want to overuse that trope, so not this week. Perhaps Sanguinius is afraid of flying because it would mean giving in to his mutation. Korax shows him the freedom they bring when they go flying together. Dude, I'm all up in that. That's great. That is great. I have an idea. I have an idea. Alright. He's loyal. So, I have an idea. Now, bear with me. Sanguinius, for the longest time... the Justice is a House Tully fan. I approve. Underrated house. Anyway. I think... that... Horus... being traitor... should make Sanguinius want to be a traitor as well. Right? He wants to follow Horus. Right? But... he's not at Istvan 5. And Korax dies there. Korax dies. And is killed by Horus. And that's what makes Sanguinius go, do you know what? No. I can't do this. That's my friend. Right? And he goes to Istvan 5 when it's all cleared out and there's nobody there anymore. In the months after. And finally... retrieves Korax's body from under like loads of rubble and says, right, no, for the Emperor then. And he goes and he essentially becomes loyal, right? That's what I think we should do, if I'm being honest. So I think Sigma still happens, right? So Sigma still happens, so he's still attacked by lots of Khorne demons. To start off the Horus Heresy, Horus attempts to sway Sanguinius to his side. He doesn't tell him what's going on at first. He sends him into an ambush with a load of Khorne demons, right? Okay? And the Khorne demons literally beat down Sanguinius because he's not used to them yet, right? Karbanda wins the fight, and Sanguinius is knocked unconscious. He's knocked into a coma, right? In that, Sanguinius is tempted by Khorne and almost gives in. Like, he's going to give in. He's going to fight for Horus. And then he hears Korax's death scream on Istvan 5 in the warp and makes his decision. What a cliffhanger that would be, by the way. Then he makes his decision. Right? He rises up, annihilates the Khorne demons, and goes straight to Istvan 5. It takes him months to get there. And he finds his brother's corpse and takes it with him. He says he's going to take it back to Terra, and he's going to, or Deliverance, right? And that's what we do. How's that? How's that? So, Sanguinius, almost traitor, but death of Korax to Horus pulls him to loyalists. Because also, we need to get rid of some of these Primarchs. Not all of them are coming back in 40k, right? We're doing really, really, really well at killing off Primarchs. We're doing really well. We need more gone, though. There's too many. There's too many. This doesn't mean... By the way, don't vote no just because you like Raven Guard. No. What's best for the story? That, as a writer, that's what you should be thinking about. What's best for the story? Don't vote no just because you like Korax. We're going to give Korax an amazing video all of his own. Same as Vulcan. Vulcan dies here too. We're going to give them both amazing stories. In fact, Korax already has one. Right? Why too many Primarchs alive? Because we're not bringing them all back in 40k, dude. We're not here to sell models, we're here to sell good stories. That's what we're here to do. We don't give a shit about models. We're here to tell a good story. There should be maybe 3 Loyalist, maybe 3 Traitor Primarchs left by 40k. The rest should be dead and gone. Gone. Never coming back. Gone. And there should be more than 1 Primarch death at the Dropsite Massacre. There should be more than 1. Vulcan dies, cool. Right, cool. Corax dies, cool. You know, Ferrus Manus doesn't die here, but he does die later in the Horus Heresy. This is the Trojan War, dude. People are supposed to die. People are supposed to die tragically. Must Primarchs be dead in order of good story? Yes. Yes. Because in 40k, where there's a Primarch, the entire setting and entire story becomes about them. In 40k, we're living in the autumn. We are living in the dark shadow of what these guys fought for. The very reason why the ancient Greeks were obsessed with being heroic and being really good at war, same as Rome, is because all of their heroes were dead. Tragically, in the Trojan War and afterwards. The Age of Heroes was over. That's what 40k is. The Age of Heroes is over. If the heroes are still fucking walking around, then you lose that. The ones who are walking around in 40k should be there as corrupted and tarnished versions of themselves. This is the Age of Heroes. This is the downfall of our tragic heroes on both sides. On both sides. You know? Yeah, Perturabo's renegade in our story. He is. Yeah, Troublemaker, yeah. That is exactly what we're doing. He says, if Khorne's first interaction with Sanguinius is to grant him a gift in his wings, this should play further into the interaction he has with him. Yes. So, again, Sigma Prime still happens. Horus sends him into an ambush because he wants Khorne to corrupt him for him, right? Because he knows Sanguinius will probably still be loyal. He'll want to join Horus, but he'll probably still be loyal, right? Khorne almost gets to him because he's beaten down by Kabanda. He's shown the power of a demon. He says, listen, you can be 10 times this guy, right? 10 times. If you just give in. And he's like, yeah, do you know what? I'm going to fight with Horus. I'm going to fight with my brother. Then he hears Corax's scream of death at Horus's hands. Right at the wrong moment. And he wakes back up enraged and slaughters all of the Khorne demons with the Blood Angels by his side, and he falls against the Black Rage, and he starts murdering everything in front of him. He gets control of his faculties, goes to Isstvan 5, gets his brother's corpse, and takes it back to Deliverance, and installs it there with the Raven Guard, right? And that's when the Horus Heresy starts for Sanguinius. Okay. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Again, we got 35% against. I think that's a lot of Raven Guard loyalists, which I'm fine with. But still, you know, you've got to make decisions that are good for the story, not good for your favourite Primarch. Alright. So. Does Imperium Secundus still happen? From here, what does he do? What does he do? Do we still have Imperium Secundus happening? The unremembered empire? Does it still happen? Bear in mind, if it doesn't, then we need to give Rabute Guilliman, when we get to his video, something to do. Yeah? We need to give him something to do when we get there. No, we didn't, Michigan. We don't know yet whether it's going to happen. We didn't say that. It needs to happen to explain the arrival of the Nids currently. Again, alright, one of the rules we do in our rebuilds, wipe the slate clean. Whatever Games Workshop tells you happens, doesn't happen yet. So the Tyranids coming could be anything. We haven't decided, right? We haven't decided what's going to happen there yet. So we don't need to do anything to make anything happen. This is the Exile verse. This isn't Games Workshop's version of 40k. So the Tyranids can get there through any means. That'd be cool, Troublemaker, but what kind of mutation would he have? Right? What kind of mutation would he have? Forgiving into the Black Rage again. Right? We're going too far in depth here, David, with in Sanguinary Guard. They can have whatever you want them to have. We're going with Primarch, Legion, right? These need to be an hour to an hour and a half long, these explanations, and if we go too far into the weeds, we're going to be here for days. Alright, so what I'm going to say is, Imperium Secundus can still happen. Why not, right? But Sanguinius isn't there. Sanguinius isn't there. Here is my treatment for what happens with Sanguinius instead. Okay? So, Sanguinius is really, really wanting to get to Terra. Okay? But every time he goes into the warp, to warp jump towards Terra, they are assailed by Khornate demons. Constantly, all the way through. He loses like half of his legion on the way to Terra. Through this. He fights through the entire thing. And he has another mutation from the Black Rage. It can be internal if you want, right? It can be internal if you want. But he's fighting and fighting and fighting because Khorne is desperate to break him before he gets to Terra. We call this the Gauntlet of Blood. Right? So Sanguinius fights hordes of Khorne demons on way to Terra. Loses half legion. How's that? So he burns like a vengeful star across the galaxy towards Terra. Right? And Khorne loves it. He doesn't care that you're killing his demons. It only matters that the blood flows, right? So, he careth not. He careth not. And of course, Sanguinius gets to Terra, right? Sanguinius gets to Terra. Alright. I think if we get to 10 votes at 100%, I'll just call it there. I don't think we're going to get much more than that. Alright. So, Hey, Chronicles of Crisis, or Chris. Chronicles of Chris, how's it going, man? So there we go. So now Sanguinius is on Terra. He is on Terra for the end of the Horus Heresy. So, are we going to change much about Sanguinius on Terra? Are we changing much of Sanguinius and Blood Angels on Terra during Siege of Terra? Are we changing very much? I don't think we should, in my opinion. I think it works. What we've done is we've done something very similar to what we did with Conrad Kurz. We didn't change everything. We changed certain things because it already kind of works, right? And what we've done is we've laid in a better foundation for what happens later. So Sanguinius is going to have his noble death. He's going to fight at the Siege of Terra. Yeah? He's fighting to avenge his brother. And I think, with us not changing very much, he should start to get visions that he is going to die at Horus's hand if he tries to avenge Corvus Corax. Right? But he does it anyway. He does it anyway. Like, his bond to Corvus was so much that he does it anyway. Native Beta says he should survive in a dreadnought lost to the Blood Rage. They just let him loose. I'm not sure a dreadnought could keep a Primarch alive. It's a big job to ask. Who would he be fighting instead of Commander? Why Angron, dude? Angron. Have him fight Angron. Have him fight Angron several times. Several rounds of these two just duking it out. Absolutely. Have them fight several times. It is a fun idea, Native Beta. It is a fun idea. If you voted yes because you want big changes to Siege of Terra, don't just vote. Tell me why. You've seen me on these videos before, on these live streams before. I will always change things around if I think you've had a good idea. So fight for it. Don't just click the yes and walk off. Vote and then tell me what you would do instead. Because I'm not seeing us needing to change much about the Siege of Terra. I'll be honest. I will be honest. I don't see us changing that much about it. I'd love to see him fight Mortarion. Yeah. Armored Gesh says, kinda makes Angron more of a jobber. Who says he loses? Who says he loses? I never said he lost. I never said Angron lost. I would have them fight 5 times. I'd have Angron win twice, I'd have Sanguinius win twice, and then I'd have Sanguinius banishing Angron. Lastly. Right? That's what I would do. It's a battle royale, different rounds, man. I'd have Angron win the first one, Sanguinius win the second one, Angron win the third one, Sanguinius win the fourth one, and then Sanguinius banishes him in the last coming together. Sanguinius returns. So Troublemaker says Sanguinius returns to Terra and meets with the Emperor, who points out his new mutations and admonishes him. At which point Sanguinius has a falling out with his father and tells him that he will become a monster if need be, if it protects the future of humanity. And as he gives into the Black Rage during the siege, he becomes more and more demonic, seeming more and more angelic to those around him. And when he dies at the end, his mutations are revealed, and his sons incorporate these holy symbols into aspects of their armor from there on out. Fuck, dude! Fuck, we have an MVP of the week. We have an MVP of the week. Alright, okay, alright. Since Troublemakers just sort of finished off the video there, let me just read that again, alright? Okay, Sanguinius returns to Terra and meets with the Emperor, who points out his new mutations. So what is his new mutation? Maybe he's got like horns or something, right? Maybe he becomes more vampiric, right? He has fangs, he has like horns and shit, yeah? He becomes more and more... the Emperor admonishes him, saying, you gave in to that thing again, didn't you? And Sanguinius says, yeah, I did, and I'll do it again to save humanity, to save Terra. Things you wouldn't do. He gives into the Black Rage again and again and again during the siege to outlast Angron and to outlast the people around him, to make sure he holds. He does the impossible. He holds the walls, right? And when he goes to fight Horus, he dies, and in doing so, his true nature is finally revealed. And in doing that, his sons look upon it with some shame, but they start to incorporate more vampiric things into their armor and into their being, right? Hunter says, every time Sanguinius and Angron fight, they both get new mutations. I like that too. I like that too. I like that too. That's alright, Chronicles of Chris, dude. We all have misclicks every now and again. I think we've done it. I think that's it. I think we've got that. And then the Blood Angels from then on in, they go down more of a dark Revenant Legion path, right? They're less vampiric. They're a lot more cannibalistic, right? And they incorporate like bats and wings and fangs and things into their armor and their face masks and stuff, right? So they're not actually vampires, but they do wear facial masks that are like contorted and fanged and things like that to show that the visage of their former Primarch when he died. So Sanguinius is a tragic hero with a lot more layers than what people thought he had. A lot more. And he nearly gave in to evil twice, maybe even 3 times, but he didn't. He died fighting, he died as a hero. And the ultimate tarnishing of his legacy is that people and Rogol Dawn saw him for what he was, basically a demon by the end. But a demon fighting for the side of good. So Rogol Dawn, is like, ugh, you know? He's ashamed this was his brother. You know? Isn't that how the Night Lords Astartes look like already? No, not really. You seem to... I think you've heard the phrase bat wings and you think, oh, there's Night Lords, right? That's a 40k fanism. Don't do that. Don't do that. Think of more than one thing at once. That's 40k fans, dude. Like, you mention one thing, they go, oh, that's just Night Lords. No, it's not. Like, it's its own thing. Okay? Is Angron a Night Lord? He has bat wings. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Is Angron a Night Lord then? Because he has bat wings? No, right? Of course he isn't. That's the same thing. So that's what I mean. I mean, like, they incorporate things like that into their armor and into their livery, right? They incorporate gaping maws and fanged teeth into their masks. They're like angels of death, right? Literal angels of death. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. I get what you're saying there, Flumberkin. right? I get what you're saying, but we need to be very careful. Like 40k fans do this all the time. I've seen it happen so many times. Do you know when they do it the most? I'm not saying you do it, Flamberken, right? I'm not saying you do it. You probably don't. But most people who like 40k, if they see something in another setting that even kind of resembles 40k, they'll go, "That's 40k." You know, and it's like, no, it isn't. Like, I've had people who like 40k tell me that Dune copies 40k when it's the other way around, right? That's how bad it can get. I'm not saying you do that, Flamberken. I'm pretty certain you don't, right? But I'm using that as an example of why we need to avoid that way of thinking. You know, yeah, that's fine, Flamberken. That's all good, mate. Durdu says the whole eating people could also rejuvenate the Marines, making them young again. That's why Dante looks so old. Dude, you guys are on fucking fire. That's a really good thing to do. Yes. Yes. Right, so. So. Blood Angels. Nicknamed Revenant Legion because they hardly age. Oldest Marines. They hardly age because they eat people. They eat people. I'm very much a bystander to 40k law, says Flamberken. No worries, man. Well, do you know what? Just goes to show that even like a passing comment like that can make me think of other things. That's why these live streams are so cool. Because even a guy like yourself who's just getting into the law can still have an input that makes a guy like me who's been into the law for 20, 30 years actually think of something new. Right? So yeah. That's why it's so cool. Chronicles of Chris says, what if one of Sanguinius' mutations turned his wings from angel's wings to bat wings? Random thought. Well, it does. It does. So we've already... So you weren't here earlier, but Sanguinius' wings are actually bat wings, but they psychically project as angel's wings to everybody else. Right? Alright, so that is the Blood Angels. Dude, we've done it. We've done it again, right? We've given the Blood Angels a better foundation for what they are than what they have in normal 40k. We've made Sanguinius a flawed, tragic hero. And we've made the Blood Angels less vampiric and more savage and more interesting. And they're still cannibals. They still have vampiristic tendencies, but now there's a reason for those tendencies in the modern law. Yeah, the bat wings aren't on the helmet. Yeah, we don't do that. So there we go. Blood Angels, done. Blood Angels, done. They still got the Death Company. Still got all that stuff, right? Blood Angels, done. Another one in the bag. Hell yeah. Minding Bat says, I want to collect Blood Angels now. Well, dude, that shows that we've done good lore. Very good lore. Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff there. Really, really, really good. So that is that rebuild done. Next week, we will be doing the Iron Hands. The Iron Tenth. Ferrus Manus. And we already know how Ferrus Manus dies. Remember. Right? He dies to Perturabo on Mars. If you've not seen the Iron Warriors video, make sure you go and watch that. Yeah? And the week after that, so next week will be the 15th, where we're going to be doing the Iron Hands. The week after that will be the 22nd. That is when we're going to do two things. First of all, we're going to be reading your submissions for the 11th Legion. And then choosing them or combining them into what we're going to do. And we're going to have a quick recap of what's gone so far. As Matthias just says there. Alright. That's what we're going to do. And then we're going to have a week break over Christmas on the 29th. And then on the 5th, we're going to go right back into it again. With the 12th Legion. In the new year. That is, of course, the World Eaters. Turn it in any time before the 22nd, dude, because I'll be reading most of them there and then. So as long as they're in before the 22nd, we're happy days. Just so you guys know what's coming up this week, a little preview of what we're doing. Tomorrow, we are doing Hobby Nightmares. Thief 40k player gets friend banned from a Games Workshop store. That was a gnarly one. I got a bit angry reading that one yesterday, but there we are. And then on Tuesday, we of course have a 40k rant, or a hobby rant. Entrenched Crusade is not my thing. And here's why. There we are. We're going to talk about that on Tuesday. Controversial, yes. But also, you know, here's the thing. Some of these things need to be said. Need to call things out when they come up. When I think they need to be called up. When is your OPR game with Mordian, says Ed Bailey. Yeah, it was supposed to be this weekend. 1 second. It was supposed to be this weekend. But two things. I didn't hear from him for a while, so I didn't know what was going on with it. So I made plans with my kid instead. And number two, we then got Storm Darar in the northwest, which shut down all trains. So I couldn't even get to Southport anyway to go and play with him. So even if that was an option, I couldn't have done it anyway. So we're going to reorganise, hopefully, and I'll get it on the back burner before the end of the year. I've sent him a message to go over it and get it reorganised. We'll figure it out. He's a decent guy. We'll figure it out. All right, dudes. I'm gonna go chill. Thank you very much, Ed, for your £5 and your £2, mate. It means a lot to me that you guys financially support the channel. It just really does light a fire under me. I love it. So thank you very, very, very much for doing that. Right. I will speak to you soon. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. And I'll speak to you tomorrow for some more Hobby Nightmares. Alright? See you then. Bye now.